Hello, everyone. Welcome here for this new, how can we say that, like new version of the demo day? Yeah, that's a good way of saying that. I just tried to catch my cat just on the behind, but he didn't want it to join us. But we have Morgan here today. That's great. Welcome, Morgan.
Hello, Romaric.
Yeah, that's great to have you today. And it's good to be two actually doing those sessions. So that's great. So what I propose is that we wait, since we are just ahead on the schedule, we wait 2-3 minutes the time that people join, and then we can get started. Do you have anything to share with like our viewers, Morgan? Yeah, please share something.
Nothing from now. Winter has finally hit Barcelona, so it's getting cold in here as well. We've
Oh,
escaped the winter for now, but it has arrived.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's good for us, like all the ones that they are just embracing winters for a few months already. So now we know that in Barcelona it's also winter. So that's really good. We are no longer jealous then. That's great.
He's no longer the only ones with winter coats.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I'm coming to Paris next week to see the team, and it's gonna be some other temperature. I think I need to get my proper winter coat on.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It depends on the day, but yeah, yeah. That's so. What I propose is that we can still wait a bit and then we get started. We are live on LinkedIn right now. It's recorded as well. So for the ones who don't know how it works, just basically you can also drop. We'll get through different slides doing live demo. Um, you can just also interrupt us at any time with questions. We'll try to respond as fast as possible. There is a slight delay between us and your question. So if we don't respond it right away, it's just normal because there is like 30 seconds to 1 minute delay, basically. So yeah, just be patient.
Yes,
Right.
but we'll try to still make it as interactive as possible.
Exactly. That's the way. That's the way. So I'm just looking on LinkedIn directly because um, we are using a tool, and the tool doesn't just give the information of how many people are online. So I need just to connect, and then from that, I can better see. Boom. Right, mute, join. That's good. Oh, I see people using the heart like on LinkedIn. That's something that we don't see from here. All right, let's wait 30 more seconds and then let's go. Mhm. What a pretty nice new brands that we have, by the way.
Amazing rebranding colors.
Okay, I think we can get started now. So let's go.
Yeah.
So yeah, Morgan. So do you want to? So yeah, just like quickly welcome everyone. That's the demo day. We'll get into like many things that I just Morgan introducing like all the different stuff at the beginning, and then I will take it over.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks. Well, we know it's the end of the year, super strategic moment for all of you guys who are like maybe budget planning or like predicting like what are the next projects going to roll out in 2026, what are like the teams going to look like. And I know using Qovery is a tool that impacts all of this, so feel free to hit me up if you have if you need to discuss all of this. But basically, the today's demo day, we're going to like review all of our top new features that we've been working on this year and how we can enable you with all of these features in the next months to come. And yeah, so Romaric will be doing the demo afterward, and I can start with a little presentation, overview presentation then. Very
Yeah,
nice beanie.
yeah, it's winter, so I need to cover my head. As you can see, like the hair are still like quite short, so that's better. So yeah,
Yeah. So as we've shared with you guys all of this year, we've now been enabling over 200 business with Qovery to ship and innovate faster. We have a lot of great customer references. We've did a few customer testimonial videos on our websites that I would definitely recommend for you guys to see and have customer testimonial, that because no one better than customer can actually present how they work with Qovery, because we know it from the inside, but it's even better to have someone explain to it from the outside and see
yeah,
if something hits home for you, and we can do the same with you guys.
yeah,
And yes, basically, we did a bit of a rebranding. I don't know if you shared, if you follow along with on our website and social medias, but we did this because we really want to explain to everyone that we are like this new DevOps enabling tool that is not only enabling you on Kubernetes, but really enable you to grow and tackle the entire infra with all of this automation platform that covers. We cover like the classic cover use cases that provision, deploy your services, provision your infrastructure, deploy your services on it. We've also launched the observability stack. You'll get a bit more demo later on. The optimization part, which is super crucial. We know like it's super important for you guys to be lean on what you use. Like Carpenter is up for it, but we have many other things coming on. And obviously, security and compliance is the last of our pillar, which is super important for you in customers. I know it's quite of a priority right now. We're working a lot with fintech customer, health tech customers, so we try to enable you teams on this as well. And
yeah,
the AI copilot that we've also launched, that is like an extra DevOps in your team. It's like enable you to focus on more of your business topic and let us help you on this. You keep building your product and your business, and we do like the heavy lifting and the enablement of your teams.
yeah.
Uh,
That's great. Yeah, and I'm super excited because that's the yeah, that was like a lot of work just to get there, like being able just to cover like the full DevOps journey. And we are still like a lot of work to do, obviously, but the team is brilliant, and we have amazing customer, and that's very good for the future. Yeah,
yeah, as Romaric said, like enabling the whole DevOps journey using like all of the interfaces you want. Obviously, the console, but also you can use it through Qovery CLI. We have now a full Terraform native integration that you'll see a bit more in a few minutes. Also uses to the API and MCP server. So whatever you want to use, we have it. And the goal is really to give you all the tools to work faster and enable you your team to build.
yeah, absolutely. And let's move on. Yeah,
So we're
sorry,
not going
guys.
to cover all of the 79 major feature we showed this past year. The team has done an amazing job. They worked at the a lot, and you can review all of these changes through the Qovery change log. Feel free to check it out on the link, and also like make sure you receive the emails to be kept up to date on that side. If you don't receive it, like ping me on LinkedIn or via email, and I can make sure you have your email within the uh, right sender. And but basically, we're just going to review the best features that make the most of impact with for our customers already, and maybe for you in the future as well today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
basically that's the agenda, and now I'll leave Romaric handle this.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Morgan. And just feel free to interrupt me during that sessions, like drop all your questions that you might have. Today we'll get into like the new features that they are the most interesting one from like our customers' perspective and my perspective as well. So it's a live demo. We are doing live demo, so it's purely interactive. 30 minutes on that. Drop your questions, as I said, and we'll cover also like what's next, basically what we are working on right now, what we are going to deliver. That's pretty exciting because there's like so many things that we can talk about, and I had to cherry pick actually the most interesting one as well. Yeah, so let's get started, and let's talk about the provisions like part. So now, by the way, just to get back here, we have separated like the product into 5 different verticals: provisions, deploy, observe, optimize, secure. So, and I'm getting through the demo in that way, basically. And the provision part is like responsible of all the management of the infrastructure, mostly like the installation part of Qovery over your cluster, and the ability to spin up also many clusters like on different cloud provider, even on premise. That's basically that part that we're talking about. And the first thing that I want just to show you guys is the support of AKS, Azure Kubernetes services, part of Qovery now. So if you experience and you have experience with Qovery, we were focusing at the beginning on AWS, then we expanded to GCP, then Scaleway, and now like also Azure, obviously, which is one of the major cloud provider. And basically, you can get exactly the same experience as what you get on AWS on Azure as well. So that's something I'm gonna show you right away. Okay, so from the Qovery web console, something that I like to say as well, just before getting into that, because we work with DevOps engineering team, developer teams, and even if it's all the demo, because it's pretty visual, it's through the web interface, we have a Terraform provider. You can do everything through Terraform. We have an API, a CLI, and an MCP server, as Morgan said, right? So just keep that in mind during all the demo, because that's the most visual way of interacting with the product. So if you get into the cluster view, you can manage in a unified way, you know, that all your clusters on the same cloud provider and even on different cloud provider. Now you have the ability, obviously, to create an Azure AKS cluster the same way as what you will do with AWS. That's as simple as that. Actually, I have nothing else to really add here. You can just select Azure. You can give a name to your cluster, AKS, new cluster. Oh, it's cat. You can select the region where you want to deploy. Let's say Hong Kong. Basically, you connect your credential. You put your credential into Qovery, so you can have multiple accounts, like one for production, one for staging, one for development, or for multiple customers, tenant. We are seeing different kind of architectures, like from our customers. So basically, once you have done that, you can just get through the different steps that we are providing, like selecting the type of instances, and you can just basically create the cluster in 5 minutes. Under the hood, we create everything on the network part, the load balancing, the cluster. We create it as an AKS. We install all the dependencies like on the cluster as well, and we operate that. The big value here for like our customers again is that Qovery take care of the burden of managing those clusters. So you can obviously bring your own clusters with Qovery. So you can install Qovery on your own Kubernetes cluster. But the fact that we support like in a managed way is that you remove all the burden of doing the maintenance operation. So all the maintenance operations are on Qovery, and Qovery can take care of that. We have customers that testify like for years they're using a DevOps engineering team or even just developer teams using the product, and they have never had to just deal with the maintenance part. It's like having a real managed service for your Kubernetes cluster. So Yeah, that's it for the AKS part. That's pretty obvious because it's just the experience that we are providing on the other cloud provider, but that was important just to cover that part, right? So let's move on. And we have 45 minutes actually, so we have to finish at 45. So we need to move on. EKS Anywhere, one more option, same as Azure Kubernetes Service. Say EKS Anywhere is pretty interesting because it's a solution that basically has been built by AWS. They have like a community versions where you can basically get the EKS experience anywhere. That's why it's called Anywhere. So even bare metal. And one thing that our customers find valuable are the ones that they're using on premise, like they need to run Kubernetes on premise, on VMware. It depends of the hypervisor that they are using. And they can just basically install. So they install EKS Anywhere. And if you have EKS Anywhere, and even if you don't have EKS Anywhere, but you need to run like in a managed way your Kubernetes cluster, so meaning that you don't want to manage like the master nodes, then you have the EKS Anywhere options. That is a good one. With Qovery, then you have the full experience, the same as what I've just shown before. Here, it's super simple again. You can, so if you have this option that is enabled, the EKS Anywhere, so you have to contact us because we do provide support and we do also like some kind of pre-check with you to know if it's a good fit or not, technically speaking. Then once it's done, you have like the option that is turned on, and same thing as what you can experience here, basically. So you can install a recovery on EKS Anywhere, and this EKS Anywhere can run anywhere on VMware, on any type of hypervisors, like on premise and so on and so forth. Yeah. So it's one step further to like the ability of Qovery running anywhere, which is already the case because actually you can even run Kubernetes Qovery on your local machine with one command. But I'm not going to show you that because we have already covered that last year, actually. Okay, one more option. Actually, it's not an option, but it's an extension of what we do provide over AWS EKS. So on Qovery, you have the ability to create. So let me show you that. You have the ability also like to create AWS EKS cluster, right? So which is an option that we are providing now for years. So if I create this EKS cluster, I pick an account so that I want to use here. I move forward. Then you have the ability to turn on the GPU. So we install by default now, and we manage that Carpenter over your Kubernetes cluster, which is another autoscaler that is pretty efficient to really adapt the type of nodes that are necessary to run your workload. So you get the best of price performance combinations like for your workload. And you also have the ability now, we did like some integrations that we also maintain just to make it very simple your experience to deploy GPUs and even get access to like spot instances on those GPUs, right? So by just one option, by just one click, you can turn on that basically on your cluster. It's one more, it's one more very good option, especially for all those companies that are running AI models, even locally AI models for privacy reasons. This is something that is very good because you get it right away. If you are already using Qovery with EKS that is managed by Qovery, then you can just basically get into your option and turn on that feature. So it means that at the application level, you can start to get GPUs. And what it looks like, so if you turn that on, and I don't think I have one that is where it's turned on, but at the application level, basically when you configure the settings of your application on the resource part, you have these options, the GPU options that is turned on, that where you can just attribute GPUs to your applications that you are deploying on that cluster. That's as simple as that. All right. So yeah, that's it for that part. I don't know if there is any question. Morgan, do you have any question for me?
No, it's all good, and we don't have any questions yet in the chat, but this is a great
Don't be
news.
shy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if anyone has any question, please send it through the chat. We'll answer it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, that's it for the deploy part. Actually, there are so many things, like even minor, like, or very narrow, like features that we have developed that, yeah, it's not possible to cover that in 45 minutes. But this is it. Let's move on deploy. So the deploy part is all the deployment part. Usually what you do with a CI/CD. Qovery is like completing what you could do with your traditional CI/CD. And we can even replace some primitives of your CI, and we do some optimization on the build part and the deployment part. Okay, so it's all integrated and you have the full experience. So once you have deployed and managed and your cluster is ready, then you can use that cluster as like a super orchestrator. And this is where the deploy part just makes sense, right? So what's new on the deploy part? We have integrated GitHub Enterprise, so now we support that natively, which is with the type of customers that we are working on, always bigger and bigger. GitHub Enterprise is one of the most successful solution. And now you can just basically connect that GitHub Enterprise account, your accounts, all the accounts that you want to cover. So it's as simple as just getting into the settings part, and then you have the Git repository access. And here you can just basically connect your GitHub Enterprise account. As simple as that. You can have even multiple accounts. So if you have just traditional account, obviously, and other Git accounts, Qovery can just help you to merge and unify the whole experience, deployment experience. Then you can start to attach your different application coming from different sources. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Nothing really fancy here, right? So that's the first thing that we do provide. Actually, I didn't show anything else, but there's so many. And I expected to show something else, but it's much more on the, and I think it's not even like relevant to talk about it here, but I will cover that after, but it's much more on the deployment part, and it's linked to like some other aspect of the solution. So I will cover that just after, right? So any question on that part? Not yet. So that's good. All good. Yeah. I didn't want it to talk about something that is pretty nice, which is here, but because that's something I want to keep for next time, since it's not released yet for real in GA.
It's coming soon. It's a surprise.
Yeah, it's coming soon. That's super frustrating for me because that's something actually I really love using, and it really just like expand all the power of the platform. But that's something we'll cover next time for sure. Secure. So what's new on the security part? We keep doing improvement on the security. The platform has been built in a way that security is pretty important. Security is the paramount for on the platform. Everything is around the security. We have different type of certifications. So SOC 2 Type 2, we are GDPR compliant, HIPAA compliant, we are HDS ready as well. ISV Accelerate Partner, getting through the FTR process, which is, in my opinion, one of the best process to just assess like the type of architectures that we are running from AWS. And everything at Qovery has been designed around the security aspect, which is super important. For instance, something that you don't even notice is that even with the full experience that you get on the platform here, meaning that you can start to get into your application, you can just get the status of your application, you can even watch the logs, all of that. Those informations, they are streamed directly from your infrastructure. They are not stored on our control plane. And this is possible because of the deep design in terms of security that we have done, like on the product, all the data stick to your infrastructure. That's the key value aspect of our product, right? So what is shared with the control plane? Metadata, basically. That's the things that they are shared. And the control plane can be even hosted like on the landing zone of your choice, which is something that could be quite important for regulatory reason. But otherwise, then the data in any case, like just stick to your infrastructure, right? Yeah, so yeah, my cat is talking with me. I don't know if you can hear, but
He's agreeing that we're really well architected when it comes to security.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So he doesn't really like when I'm talking to the computer. For him, he's a bit like strange. So there's two major features, like security features that I want to cover. We have done a lot of improvement on the audit log. We keep doing that. We have like a few things that I'm gonna cover on the next steps. But it's the OIDC SML like support. So now you can just bring your identity provider and start connecting and just getting access to provide access to the platform to all your users. Basically, it's something you have to ask to get access to that feature to Morgan, who is here. But basically, you can let all your users from your organization or from specific part of your organization's departments to get access to the platform and attach them by default some specific roles that you will define, right? So, which is very, very useful. We have some customers that they made in the past some script to just synchronize their users with the platform, but now it's no longer like necessary to do that. You can just basically use OIDC SML for that part. Obviously, by default, we do provide SSO support. So if you have just GitHub, Google, or like any other like solutions, classic and major solutions to connect, you can do that. But if you are using SSO, SAML or IDC, you can also do it that way, right? So, and something very important, like for AWS users, because our GCP, Azure, and other like provider, native cloud provider, they were already benefiting of that, which is basically not exchanging static token. So now you can just basically, so I'm getting back to Qovery Rim. You can connect your AWS account and all the resources as well. So we have done that on the container registry and some other like a type of resources, but you can connect through SES, right? So we were by default doing static credentials, so which is something that we no longer recommend. And here you can just connect to your AWS console, execute that CloudFormation stack, and then from that you have all the permissions and that they are created, and then you get the ARN that you fill up here, and then it just works. Qovery can access, so there is no static token that they are just exchanged, right? So that's something pretty interesting, like for our users. All right. Did you wanted to add something, Morgan, or on
No,
that part?
all good. And if you ever have like question on security best practices or anything, feel free to reach out to us because I know like going through certification or challenging your infra can be a bit of a tricky situation, and we're here to help on that and give you all of the tools to make it as smooth as possible to go through the technical challenges there.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into the observe part. So this is a brand new product that we have launched. So actually the provisions and deploy is something that we keep improving. We support more and more technology. I'm going to cover that in the next steps. But here I'm super excited about this part, which is basically when you start deploying your infrastructure, your application, obviously the questions that comes next from our user were, oh, can I get like some monitoring or alerting? Obviously, you can use your existing solution, Datadog, New Relic, Grafana, whatever. With Qovery, there is no restrictions, no limitations. You can use them. But we had to provide something built in because we really believe that empowering developer is not only just adding one more tool, but really integrating that into the whole experience. So I'm gonna explain that. So just let me show you exactly what does that mean. So it's exactly that. So let's get into one of my applications. So I'm inside a project, Doctolib production environment. I got a bunch of application here. I can take the backend application, and the idea here is that first, on all type of resources, we'll provide that monitoring aspect. So you will be able, even at the environment level, to be able to see like the monitoring state, the state of your environment, which is already the case, but over time, right? So here, if I get into the application, the service itself, I can see that I got like this new tab, monitoring, that I can click when I get access to that feature. And if you don't, ask Morgan, ask the team, ask your customer success manager, just open the chat here and ask to get access, or you just click basically on the button that offer the option to turn on that feature. But what you get here is the ability to start to visualize and to get the information of your application over time. So this application actually is a bit fragmented because it's like turning, it's stopping every day. But if I just put a few hours, 3 hours here, so there is nothing really happening. That's quite interesting actually, because here, oh yeah, no, I got like the traffic going up because I got a script that is just load testing this application every, I don't know, like every, 10, 15 minutes actually. So yeah, every 10, 15, 20 minutes. And so that's why we can see actually those charts. So here it's a pretty good way of just seeing what's happening on your application. The information you can start to just, and I don't know why is that on that color. That's pretty interesting here. But if I take like this one, you can see and visualize what's happening. You have a right, so here that application, there is nothing really interesting happening because it's not the real application, it's just a demo one, but I could just revert back to a previous version. And what I want to show you is that all the operations that you are doing on that application, you can see them as events basically on the right here. So you can see that you have deployed a new version of that application. That's maybe the reason why you get like some performances like issue on that application over time. And that's a very good way of just getting those insights pretty fast on your at the application level. So that's the first part. A second part is that you have also now on the log aspect. So we have improved that part. We have still a lot of work to do, and actually we are doing a complete revamping that is going to be launch. Actually, has been designed, but now, and thanks to our customer who participated to that, but is going to be developed during the next month. But here on the logs part, now you can just basically search like for your logs. So which is something that were not possible until now, but this is something that we have done. And again, all the operations are done on your infrastructure. They are not stored. So this is directly streamed from your infrastructure to here, this interface, not stored on the control plane, which is pretty efficient. So you can start to search by keyword. You can also combine with actually the level. So you can just filter on the specific type of error, which is also like quite interesting. You can combine with other keywords, and you will be able also, like in the future, obviously, to do much more interesting operation. You have the ability to search on a specific time frame, and that's the basic like aspect of the logs part. But here we are going to keep like improving that. We have launched that feature just a few months back, and here actually now you can see you have so you have this. You have like the events that they are shown and displayed directly to close to the graph, right? So yeah, that's it for that part. So just keep a close eye because the team is really working fast. The next thing that will be available here is the alerting that we are working on and will be delivered pretty soon. And I'm super excited because we'll start to introduce new things that I'm going to talk just right after, right?
If you want
Morgan,
to
go ahead.
try, yeah, I was saying if you want to try this feature on your setup, feel free to hit me up, and we have like a 7-day trial that we can enable super fast, and you can see how it acts on your setup, and also give visibility, super easy to read for your team, for your developers, super easy
Yeah.
to use and give great insights.
Yeah. And one also major aspect of that, just again, I know that I'm repeating myself, but again, all the data stick to your infrastructure, all the data. So, which is, it's not sent to another like a system or anything. No, it's all those data stick to your infrastructure. They are stored into a cold storage, so it doesn't cost too much like on you if you compare it like to other solutions. So, yeah, just keep that in mind, right? All right. So let's move to one of the most like promising experience that we are providing. We talk about the MCP server. What does that mean? It means that, oh, there is something related to AI, right? We have this beautiful diagram with all those verticals, and now we have this AI layer. And actually, that's very, very, very interesting and very powerful because it really completes our vision of providing a full DevOps like automation platform, like for customers, the ability to even automate things that you could do obviously programmatically because you have access to our API. You can do really whatever you want. We have customers that they have built even interfaces on top of our product. But here, you can even go beyond that, like just doing the ad hoc operations becomes very, 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 very easy. So this is an example here we have built. And by the way, I invite you to just read. We are writing some articles on our blog related to that part. But this is an agentic AI, like a product that we have built. There is also like a dedicated page where we share more information. There's also a documentation. So I'm just going to get here so you can see. So this is the page basically that you can take a look. There is a video with a demo as well, and I'm going to do a demo with you right now. But it gives you like a good idea of what you can get from that. There is documentation as well attached. And here, that's very, very powerful because any type of operations that you might think you can do it. For instance, if you want to start to optimize your deployment time, just ask the Copilot to optimize the deployment time for you. It will do it for you. It will watch and get access to all the resources and just watch exactly how you can optimize that because it gets direct access to our API, but not only, also our like a data warehouse. And we are storing like data for like years, millions of data points, and just basically it's all trained on those data, right? So agentic AI, we have put some guardrails obviously as well, so you can just customize the experience. So for instance, you have a different mode of interaction, read, write. So read, it's only reading your configurations and not acting on your behalf, so not doing any active operation. And the write is doing those operations for you. So I'm going to show you that just right after. The rollback aspect is one of the most important to me, is that how we give confidence to our customers and users to use that product, that super powerful product. But since we talk about infrastructure, we need to make sure there's already the guardrails asking confirmations about like those operations, some operations just summarizing like exactly what is going to be done. But the rollback aspect is one of the most important because obviously, if you are doing something that is a bit disruptive, you might want just to recover. Even for stateful pieces, it's one of the most difficult part and aspect, but that's very critical just to give confidence to our users that they can just leverage the full power of that. And obviously, we are providing that through the web interface I'm going to show you, but you have access to MCP server as well. So basically, you can use all your best AI tool to interact with your infrastructure through our MCP server, right? So here, this is an example, for instance. So it's the AI Copilot is context aware. So if I'm changing from one page to another, you can see that the chat here that I've opened from the top right is just changing from the context. So it knows exactly where it is. So if here I say that basically, can you, clone the prod environment into 3 other environments running on the same cluster, it will do like that operations for me. So this is a read-write operation, pretty powerful, right? So what we can see is that it's loading. So creating the plan, that's what is going to happen. So I'm going to show you that. And I will probably zoom in. Okay. So you see, boom, he's searching for documentations, listing all the environments, extract the prod environment ID, get the prod environment detail cluster ID, clone prod. I'm not sure it's going to work. And by the way, if something goes wrong, he has the ability just to reflect and to see exactly how to fix that, or even ask and interrupt the flow and ask the user just to have like some much more like details. So now we have like 3 new environments that has been created. I'm going to refresh the page and you will see that. So if I go back here and here, boom, you see, I got those 3 new environments that has been created. And those environments are like exactly the same as the other one. That's pretty powerful, right? So now if I want to say, hey, can you clean those environments? So remove them. Yeah, of course. It's not gonna. And this is pretty powerful because you can start to do very complex things. There is also like an internal scheduler that is attached. So for instance, if you want to start to schedule tasks, let's say you want to run a security report every week on Sunday evening, receiving that on Slack, it can do that for you, basically. So every week it will just do that report. Even it can even use his internal memory just to know exactly what has changed from the last report and just taking decision over that. So can you imagine everything that you can do? So if now I go back to prod and go back here to refresh, so or maybe I just need to refresh because the state is not changed. Boom, those environment has disappeared now. That's pretty powerful. Yeah, I'm always amazed about that because you can really do crazy stuff. For instance, we have customers running development environment. Development environments, they are like a great to test, but they can cost a lot of money. So you can just basically say, hey, can you check every day at 8 p.m. Let's say PT that unused environments, dev environments, are deleted, but ask for confirmation to the owner others like before. So it can just do that and schedule that operation. So that's exactly what we are going to see here. So can you imagine everything that you can do then from that? So it's creating the task for me. So the plan step, boom, task. That's done. So now it's scheduled and it's going to be executed every day at this time. So I can list the task. So if I open a new session, so I'm going to just drop that session. Let's say, because we have also like an historical, so you have an historic. But if you list, can you list all my tasks? And this is where we are going to invest also in the experience to basically every single user could have like a set of agents that they can just manage, that they will do operations for them. But here, for instance, boom, as a user, boom, I got this task that is like created. So if I want to delete that task, can you delete this task? And I give the ID, then it will do that operation for me. And this is clean, deleting a recurring task. Boom. Yes, that's it. It's all good. That's pretty nice, no?
It's so fun. So useful, very useful. We've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
we've been using it on the hiding before releasing it to the customer, obviously in the team. We're seeing how powerful it was, how useful it was, from basic of troubleshooting to, as Romaric show, like how to leverage it as an extra develop person in your team, and having visibility on what's going on, automating tasks. So we're really excited to show it to everyone live right now. It's very, very nice. And also, as we mentioned, we're like not training anything on your data. It's something that we've built on our knowledge and like our documentation. We're not using anything from your side. So I know
Yeah,
it can be a question that our user had when they starting using it, because obviously compliance and security reason once again.
yeah.
So if you want to get a bit of more details on how is it working, how's the detail, we can definitely have a session and show it to with you, discuss it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And privacy is one of our top concern, and that's why also we'll provide the ability to use your own custom model and your model that you can even run on your cluster. So that's something we'll push forward to make sure that actually you have the full control of the data, and you know that they are just sticking again to your infrastructure. So that's pretty important. Okay, so what's next now? This is what we are working on right now. So first, like the deployment and actually of the Terraform native modules, that's something actually is already available for me, for like our team and some like early customers. But basically the ability to deploy Terraform modules along your application. We use Kubernetes as an orchestrator, and we turn it as a super orchestrator. And here inside an environment, you can define even Terraform modules actually that they are attached along the application. And this is where, like this, so if you have a Terraform module, let's say you want to deploy a S3 bucket like along your application, you can just basically take it from, take your Terraform manifest from your Git repository. And here you have a few options. So you can use Terraform or OpenTofu as a runtime for your for executing that module. You can select the version of your choice. The state file is like managed on Kubernetes, but you can even use an external like a backend. So it could be HashiCorp directly or S3 or whatever. You can inject credentials. So automatically we inject like the cluster credential, but you can choose other credential as well. And here we read the TF-var. We are doing a lot of crazy things under the hood just to make your life easier. And you can just define those TF-var. You can even use like other environment variables value from the environment, from the services. So you can really do crazy thing here. So once it's done and defined, you can just create and execute the Terraform module. And you have like all those options that they are available, right? So you can, so if you start, so if I zoom a bit in here, so you can start deploying and do those operations, which is very, very, very convenient because an infrastructure is not only just containers on one side and managed services. You need, and the idea for us is really to unify the whole experience, being your infrastructure operating system. So you can really manage any type of resources. And that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. So if I get back to my slide, it's also what we are going to support and we are working right now is the native support of deploying front-end application as well. Next.js, React, Remix, name it, name your best technology. Basically, you will be able to also deploy it very fast and in an efficient way, start to optimize, use a CDN if you want or not. That's going to be crazy. Like basically all your front-end application. And the goal for us is just to make sure you guys that they are deploying a lot of backend applications today. You also consider using Qovery to deploy your front-end application because it will be so fast and so optimized that using some cloud provider just for front-end application will not make any sense. If you are spending thousands of dollars on those providers for front-end application, no, come here. It's going to be better. Because we are not making money on the hosting part. It's your hosting, it's your cloud provider. But we streamline the experience. So you pay for that experience. That's it, right? The observe part. So we are providing alerting. So we are working on So it's going to be delivered probably like in the coming days, weeks. So I'm super excited about that part because observability without alerting doesn't make any sense. So, and think in terms of AI, actually, the observe module is the first that is going to deeply integrate AI to simplify your monitoring, alerting experience. The idea is to have this copilot just looking at the alert, looking at your applications and deciding if it's very important or not, and even taking action on your behalf for that. Always with your control, but on your behalf. And think in terms of DevOps automation platform, it's really how we just like bother you when it's necessary and not when things can be just fixed by the platform itself, right? On the security, Airbag V2, very, 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 that's something that I wanted for a long time, the much more fine-grained control about the different permissions. That's something the security team is working on. Super exciting. You really finely granularly just control all the permissions on the platform. Today, it's already quite good, but we can go far, 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 far deeper. And that's something we are working on. And the external secrets manager. Secrets manager. So today on Qovery, you can, so if I show you, you can obviously define your secrets very easily. So you can do it one by one. It's pretty straightforward. You can even import as a file, so you can just mount file into your application. You can import a .env file directly. You can connect, obviously, Doppler in physical, your secrets manager. But what we want here, since we store the value, it's encrypted, but we store it like in different places. What we want is not even storing that value actually anywhere. And this is where the external secrets manager, being able to bring your external secrets manager, but keeping the secrets only on that and never like just pushing them like anywhere else, even if it's super secure, it's validated in terms of security, is like the way to go for us. So that's why we are working on that part, right? So that's it. I saw the time and actually we are just 5 minutes late now. But big thank you. Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you, Romaric, and thanks for everyone who joined.
Yeah, if you have any questions, I didn't drop my email here, but you can just get into our website, the contact form. If you have our emails, you can just reach out. If you are already customer users, you know how to reach out, Slack, or like through the web interface. But super happy to have you, and I wish you a good end of the day, and we speak then very later on. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.